Okay, we're continuing on with this video. So we've created those variables and they're automatically created in here, so they're already declared for us. Now a quick revision on C++ coding for Arduino, okay, our embedded C coding. We've got really three sections to our code, okay. We have where our libraries are included, our declarations and our functions are created. Okay, so this is all our kind of declaration section, okay. Then we have our setup function, which runs a piece of code, series of commands that we want to run initially when the controller boots up, and that's it. It just runs this code once. And then we have our main loop that runs over and over again while the controller is running. Okay, so I've got some code here for the BME 280 sensor, and includes some libraries and an I2C library that allows us to communicate along. Now I need to embed all of this code here into what's already here. So again, I can just nicely copy and paste. I know that this should go before my void setup function, so in the declarations. So here's all the declarations. That's that section. It's before the void setup, and I'm going to paste it in. And there's the void setup function. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste in my setup function. So I'll copy that and paste that in. So here's what's already in there, right down to before the bracket. So I'm going to paste the rest in. Now just something I need to be careful with. Sorry, just control, yeah, put that back in. I already have a serial begin. I already have a serial begin. So I'm going to use the higher baud rate. This one here, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in there, and then I can get rid of this. I don't need to. Okay. Then we have main loop. We've got to keep that first line of code, and then we've got to put in our main code from our loop and copy that in. Now our code is in, and we're hoping that's going to work. But what I still need to do is I still need to pass the data into the cloud variables. So these are our cloud variables that we've created. Now I have some variables locally, so sitting on the ESP32 controller, that store in the value of temperature. So when I call this function through the BME library that we're using up here, this library, it will return a value for temperature for me. Nice and easy. That's the benefit of using libraries. It's an easy function to call, and it returns temperature for me. Same way it will return pressure, altitude, and humidity. But this data is stored locally on the controller, so on the controller device. But I now want to link that to our cloud variables. And I know that this is what they're called. So all I got to do is just pass that data in. So after I've collected temperature, and just to make sure I get the correct spelling or whatever way it's set up, just copy, that's what it's called. Paste that down here. So the cloud temperature will equal the value of the local temperature. And it's as simple as that. And we do the exact same for humidity. Again, let's just get the right spelling, pass that in, and make that equal to what the local variable is. And it's as simple as that. Now the data, through some of the other libraries that it's set up and some of the other code, this things, properties and stuff like that, it's going to be able to pass that data through the network configuration that we set up into these cloud variables. And then I can therefore go ahead and use this, visualize this on my dashboard. Okay. Now, a couple of wee awkward parts that we got to do first. Okay. We do need to install this this particular library, okay, and you can get that available online and you can download it as a zipped file. Now to put that into your cloud account, you actually have to go into the full editor. So if you click on this and you go into the full editor, it really just brings you into what we are looking at, but with a bit more options and settings. So again, it just brings the exact same code in here that I have just done, okay. But what it allows me to do, it allows me to go to libraries, okay, and it allows me to import a library. I can click import and I can upload, wherever I have my downloads, I can upload that particular library, and then it becomes available. Okay, so once you've uploaded it into the cloud account, you could go ahead and download from here, and to be honest, you'll get a bit more debugging information and stuff available, but we're going to go back into the cloud account. So that whole cloud account, all those 4 platforms are linked. So once you've uploaded it to that, you'll have it accessed here. Then you'll want to look for your device. Okay. Now, there's a few little awkward bits here as well. You will need to download a particular plugin from Arduino. It's called the Arduino Create. And even when you are on this web page, it'll automatically pop up with a warning if you don't have it downloaded already. So I'll ask you to download and install a plugin and take 20 seconds. It's called Arduino Create. I have it already downloaded and that's why it's not popping up here. But you need to do that so that the code or the web page can link to your like USB, your COM port and things like that. The other thing you may need to do for your particular board, especially if it's not an Arduino, if it's a third-party device, you may need to download and install additional drivers for it. Okay, so you would have to do that first, and then you should be able to see your device available here. Okay, now to be honest, I just want to show you how to set up a device. This is already picked one. Oh, we already did set up a device, sorry, excuse me. So it's already found it on the COM port for me. And if you needed to set anything further, you would do that there. Okay, so it's really important that you can see that on your COM port. If you can't see the COM port, it means you need an additional driver installed. So we can verify this just if you want to compile the code and check that it's okay. So you should be able to verify that, and then you should get. It might take a couple of seconds to do so. It's normally a little bit longer on the cloud rather than when it's installed locally on the computer. So I'll give that a few minutes. Okay, so it's verified. Any errors that you may have, if you've done any syntax errors or anything like that, should highlight there, and you'll need to change them and sort them out, but it should be okay. And then really what we can do is we can go ahead and upload the device. And again, that can take a minute to do. Should just be able to hit verify and upload. Some ESP controllers, you need to hold down the boot button on it, which we might be able to see on this. There's a boot button. You might need to hold that down before you hit download, and then it will download. But for other devices or the more modern drivers, when they're installed, it should just be automatically able to communicate with the device and put it into a boot mode to allow it to upload. Okay, so again, that will take a wee minute to upload, and I'll come back when it's fully uploaded or downloaded, sorry. And all going well, we get a successful upload. Now what we can do is we can open the serial monitor and we can just have a look at the device printing or what's been saved locally on the controller from this here. So you may need to check that your baud rate is the same baud rate that we set. Remember, it was that higher baud rate. And then just give it a wee minute for the data to come through. Again, just takes a little bit of a second to view it on the web browser. If you had it installed on your desktop application, it would be a little bit quicker, but just give that a bit of time to upload. So our code's sitting there, it's on the device, and then what we want to do is we want to try and get that visualized on a dashboard. Okay. Now remember, we've set up our network setting and things like that, so that should all come true. Yes, we see there, this is what happens when you don't have the baud rate set correctly, but now the temperature is pretty much connecting true. We can also see we haven't been able to connect to my hotspot because I haven't just turned my hotspot on yet, but I need to create my dashboard first. But the temperature readings are coming through and the pressure readings and the altitude and all that, so that's looking good. So the last part is really easy. We're just building a dashboard. So we can click build dashboard, give it a minute to create it, and we're just going to visualize the two metrics. We can edit the name. We can see this is the BME280 sensor, so we can say that's the BME280 dashboard. And then look, you get loads of different things that you can add in here. to visualize different metrics, inputs, outputs, whatever it may be. I'm just going to go ahead with a gauge. They're quite nice for this type of stuff. So we can call this temperature. We can link a variable to our cloud variables, and look, it's so easy to link those. You can set a minimum and maximum value. I'll just leave it where it is at the moment. So they could be based around your sensor and what are the minimum and maximum values. I'll put in another one, and this one will be called humidity, and we'll add that one in, link it to humidity, and link that variable. Again, if you want to set a range, and press done. And there you can arrange widgets. You can, make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever you want to do. It's your dashboard. You can create it as you see fit, and then you can also see what it'll look like on a mobile layout. So I'm happy enough with that. I'm going to keep it on the desktop layout like this, and then just give me a second. That's really everything. I'm just going to check. You can currently see my device is offline. I'm going to hook up my hotspot, and then we'll come back with the device online. So I've hooked up my hotspot. You should see the device becomes online. And then if I go into my dashboard, I should come in here and I can see my humidity and my temperature. And if I just blow on the sensor here, you'll hopefully see the temperature and the humidity values starting to change there, and we can see, yes, they are updating. And if you download the Arduino IoT Cloud app, once you sign into the same account, you'll be able to see the dashboard, and you'll be able to see that information. So essentially, this dashboard is available anywhere you have a Wi-Fi connection. And if you leave your microcontroller running, and once it has access to any Wi-Fi connection, doesn't have to be the same one as your computer, it will be able to push that data onto the cloud, and then you'll be able to visualize it from anywhere. So that's the introduction to Arduino IoT Cloud. It's also an introduction to an IoT device, really starting from the controller, taking some sensors, trying to push the data onto the cloud, and then visualize that. And you can play around with these settings here on your dashboard to get it nicely visualized, and essentially have that sitting on a cloud server that we can access from anywhere. So IoT Cloud, the Arduino IoT Cloud platform, embeds a lot of these things for us. It has a dashboard, it creates the things, allows us to create variables and associate the device and create the network setting and do all the development, and helps us with some of these libraries. So it does a lot of work for us within this platform. In some of the other videos, we're going to look at how we can kind of do this without the help of a platform like this. Still use applications like Arduino and maybe other cloud storage places and data dashboards and visualization tools, and then we can build a bespoke IoT application. So I'll catch you in some of the next videos.